Alright guys, so I was originally thinking of making this a two-part video, but I didn't get any footage when I actually went to the doctor's office because I was just a little bit scared, I guess. This is only my second time going there, so I don't really have an established relationship with him yet. But we went over all of my results today, and oh boy. Let's get into some of this info. So I did a stool kit, which anybody who's ever had to do a stool kit before, you know how fun they are. They're really not that fun. Basically what's going on with my intestines is that I have an imbalance of bacteria. My body is digesting, which is great. Like, I'm able to eat protein and I am digesting it, but one of the issues is that I'm not absorbing what I'm digesting. How do we know this? So when you eat protein, protein's broken down into amino acids, and that's what's rebuilding you. Like, it's totally essential when it comes to building muscle. For me, taurine is an amino acid that you have in your body. The typical range is from 0 to 5,335. I'm at a 24, okay? So that's low. So a lot of these amino acids, you want to be halfway. Take that high number and cut it in half, and that's your ideal place of where you want to be. So if I go to Valine, the range is from 0 to 147. I'm at 19. There's two other ones, and I'm just super, super low in all my amino acids. So that's real proof that my body isn't absorbing. I have leaky gut. I could have told you that, but he's able to do a blood work type of test that can show if you have leaky gut. And yeah, I have it for real. I'm happy to have like a solidified real answer of you have leaky gut and this is an issue and we need to work on it. That makes me feel good. If you guys don't know what leaky gut is, I was on a ton of antibiotics as a kid. And what can happen is that your gut lining ends up creating openings in it, in a sense. And so when you eat food, sometimes the foods end up going through that opening and end up in your blood. And so when a food particle ends up in your blood, your body goes, oh, I need to attack that because it's a foreign object. And it creates antibodies against it. And then this is how you end up having a ton of food sensitivities, because you're eating these foods and they're leaking into your bloodstream, and then your body's fighting against those foods and it's creating an antibody against that food. Food sensitivities are a byproduct of leaky gut for some people. Food allergies might be a different story, but I'm just talking about a food sensitivity. So for example, like, I used to be able to eat almonds all the time, totally fine. Now if you give me a handful of almonds, my throat itches within 5 minutes of eating it, okay? So put that into perspective. A food sensitivity is something that develops out of nowhere. And it's like you end up having a food sensitivity against a lot of different types of foods. Mine was an extremely long list. And if you're ever interested in seeing that long list, like, I could tell it to you. I had to learn how to eat for a year by avoiding those foods. But the issue is that if you're eating foods that you're sensitive to, you're still inflaming the gut. We're not really concerned about that this time. So, good news is that he didn't put me on a restrictive diet. He said I have to be extremely militant when it comes to avoiding gluten and dairy. Besides that, he wants me to have eggs for breakfast, and we're gonna kind of experiment because I sometimes react to eggs. But the other thing about all of this is that he doesn't want me eating the same food every day. So one of the issues with leaky gut is that when you eat something repetitively, that's when your body starts to create this type of sensitivity to it. So you do something called like a rotational diet, which I read about separately. This isn't coming from the doctor. A rotational diet is where you're literally rotating foods in and out every like 4 days. So you're never eating the same thing every day. He tested all of my thyroid because I have been tested towards Hashimoto's before. Basically what's going on is like I'm leaning towards that again in a sense, but this is the reason why it's happening. So when it comes to the thyroid, my thyroid is great and it's like operating fine, but my reverse thyroid has kicked in. And this is 100% a result of me not eating. So my entire life, like, I don't really have an appetite per se. Like, I can get by really easily with not eating a lot. When you're exercising, you can't do that. And so when I did my competition prep, like, most people think like oh, you're competing, you're dieting down, that was actually the most amount of food I've ever had to eat consistently for a certain time period. Like, I eat like rabbit food. Like, I just nibble on things, and I normally don't eat a ton of food, but I think I'm gonna have to get back to like counting my macros a little bit just to at least aim to hit a protein goal. Basically what's happening is that in the long run, if I keep not eating, my thyroid is being directly impacted, and it's really gonna affect me down the line. And like right now, since my reverse T3 is going off, like my metabolism isn't necessarily working because it's like I'm in starvation mode, right? So at the end of the day, I just need to eat. Like, that's basically what all this means, is that in order to support my thyroid in the way that I need to, I have to eat. There's another really big factor in all of this, and I asked him, like, you know, like, what came first? And the other big factor is this gene mutation called MTHFR. All right, guys, so my camera overheated, sorry, but the MTHFR gene. So look it up to find out more information, but basically it can impact how your body detoxes, and it can impact your anxiety and depression in a sense, because MTHFR, if you look at it, there's like a diagram of gears, and when that one is functioning, it impacts two other areas in the body, and one of them being your detoxification, another one being your serotonin and dopamine levels in a sense. So don't hold me to any of this information. I'm still learning about MTHFR. I still don't fully understand it. Basically what's going on is that my body isn't detoxing well, and so my zinc is really low and my copper is really high, and my homocysteine level of my blood is really high. That all matters. Like, basically my body, my blood isn't being purified in a sense. We got a lot of work to do. Besides that, I mean, I'm healthy. It's not like I'm not healthy, but my MTHFR gene mutation is having a really big impact on my body, and I do have imbalances, and my leaky gut is an issue, and I have bacteria in my body, and my body's not absorbing nutrients, and, you know, that's just kind of the rundown. I'm feeling really optimistic about it. Like, I just can't wait to order the supplements that he's giving me. And my favorite thing is that we're starting off slow. We're gonna start with certain issues and then move on to others. Like, he's not giving me a probiotic yet, which is great, because I don't even know if I could handle an extremely strong probiotic. Like, we gotta do other things first. We gotta kill some of this bad bacteria. So there's a lot of work to be done. The best thing about all of this is that I don't believe that I have Hashimoto's because I don't have any symptoms of somebody with a Hashimoto thyroid issue. I think that I have leaky gut, and clearly in a gene mutation that's impacting my body in another way. Oh, the other thing I wanted to let you guys know about, so vitamin B12, I was taught today that when your vitamin B12 is under 400, it's very common for you to have neuro issues like anxiety and depression. So my B12 is at 366. So it makes sense why I have been experiencing anxiety for as long as I have. The other takeaway from all of this is that, you know, you're hurting your body when you're extremely stressed. And so learning how to live a balanced lifestyle where you're not consumed in one thing or have to do everything perfect, and you're able to take that downtime, give yourself permission to just relax and rest and play and have fun, like, that's what matters, and that's what I've been working on. I definitely can relate to anybody who's ever had to go onto an extreme diet. The reason why I love this doctor so much is because, one, like, he knows that every single person is different. And he doesn't have a for real protocol. He's not like, oh, so we're gonna go on an elimination diet and all you're gonna eat is protein and greens. I've done that with so many other functional medicine doctors that this is so refreshing. So for me, he's not limiting my diet per se. He's not saying cut out these foods or do this. He's saying you cannot have gluten or dairy because that is inflaming your stomach, and I need to reduce the inflammation in your stomach so we can heal it. And I'm saying, that's great, cool. I can still have rice, I can still have cashews, like, what's up? I can still have fruit, like, let's go. That's amazing. So I'm really excited to be working with him, and I think that he's definitely going to be of help. And just the fact that we're starting attacking certain problems, like for him to get my homocysteine level down and my zinc up is absolutely crucial. Like that matters so, so much. So our game plan is to start tackling that, also start tackling some of the bad bacteria that's going on. And since we're starting with so few supplements, we're going to be able to tell, am I reacting to anything negatively? And if I am, how do we need to tweak this? If you'd like an update video in like 2 weeks, give this video a thumbs up and I'll make it for you. But thank you again for watching. And if you have any questions or if you're going through something similar and you just want somebody to connect with or to bounce ideas off of, like definitely feel free to put a comment in, reach out to me. Like I've been doing this journey for over 10 years. I've been trying to figure out what's going on with my gut for so long and what's going on with my body. And it's like, I feel like I finally just found the last piece of the puzzle. And it feels really good. I'm just excited to get started. And I'm eager. Like, I just can't wait. I can't imagine what it's like to actually have vitamin B in my body. Like, oh my God, imagine having a B level that's above 400. I just can only imagine how good it feels, like what it feels like to actually have energy and like have your brain function optimally because it has all the micronutrients that it needs in it. Like, and like, I'm gonna feel so good. Like there's so much room for improvement, so much. So that's all I got. And I'm gonna keep on eating. Cheers.